and also His anointing over my life.
我感謝神神俾我一個新生命同埋讓我呼召我做咗全時間。
I was brought up in a Christian family, a third generation Christian.
我係已經第三代一個基督徒喺個家庭裏生長。
Could have accepted Christ earlier, but I remember when I was 12 years old in this church during missions conference, I came to believe in the Lord.
咁就喺一個差傳大會做12歲咧，就喺呢度喺教會認識咗做接受耶穌做我嘅救主。
In fact, I remember the brother who sat next to me when I accepted Christ. I don't know whether he's here today. It is Mr. Chu Japin, Mr. and Mrs. Chu's son.
咁我記得咧喺坐我旁邊咧就係有一個教會嘅會友叫做Japin，就係 Mr. Chu 嘅仔。
2 years later, when I was 14, I went through the water baptism, baptized by Reverend Patrick Tang.
咁2年後咧，我14歲，我就經過呢個受浸，就係我哋嘅 Patrick Tang 上一任嘅牧師幫我受浸。
16 years old, I gave my life to serve God also in this church during the missions conference.
咁同樣喺呢個教會16歲嗰時咧，就將呢個叫差傳大會嗰度將我生命奉獻俾神。
My testimony is really not my story, but rather God's story, and through a woman, and this woman I'm referring to is my mother.
咁我真正嘅見證咧係關於一個好重要嘅人，就係呢個夫人就係我媽媽。
She brought me up in the ways of the Lord, and then when I was 5 years old, she gave me the name Timothy. She wanted me to be like the Timothy in the Bible, serving God, and also a third generation Christian.
咁咧，我就係用聖經嘅教訓去教導我長大，然後咧俾我一個特別嘅提摩太，同埋聖經所教我長大咧，我就要去全心去侍奉我神。
In fact, when I was 5 years old, she asked me to go and serve God as a pastor. I told her, no way I'm going to do that.
我記得我5歲嘅時候，我媽媽同我講啊，你侍奉神，我侍奉神啊，呢個唔係我嘅選擇。
Because pastors in those days were boring, were bought up, and also bankrupt.
嗰陣時咧，做牧師嘅時候咧，就好悶啊，通常做牧師都係光頭啊，
冇錢，
又冇錢，
都抽筋。That was another denomination, not in a Baptist church, okay? But she never stopped praying for me.
但係咧，我媽媽冇停過去為我禱告。
So when I gave my life to serve God, I think she rejoiced.
當我話我要俾我生命嘅時候，我媽媽係充滿喜樂。
Just before I went to Singapore for my theological training, I actually played a prank on her just to see whether she loves God more or she loves her son more.
當我未去新加坡去呢個做就嗰陣時咧，咁我其實我想玩我媽媽，要做睇下媽媽點去反應。
I told her, God has called me to be a missionary, and God has called me to go to India.
我講話媽媽
That's not true, of course.
神咧係呼召我做宣教士，咁就呼召我去到印度嗰度，呢咪真事啊！
And to be a good missionary, I must incarnate in that culture. Meaning, I just have to live there and die there and get married and have all the colored children. And I will not come back to see you.
咁啊講，如果我試下去印度去嗰度適應嘅地方，即係講我喺嗰度活嗰度做嗰度住喺，或者去結婚啊，就有兒女咧，又唔係黑唔係白嘅即係試下。
I just want to see how she would take it. You want your son to serve God? This is the price you're going to pay.
我想試下媽媽嘅反應係點啊？如果你要你仔真係全時間上咧，呢個你禱告睇你點嘅反應。
She was greatly troubled for a few weeks.
咁有幾個禮拜，佢覺得心裏邊好重擔啊。
But she got over it.
但係因為慢慢係經過咗我咧。
So, I thought this is not good. How can she get over it? So I told her, I'm not going to come back to visit you anytime. I am going to meet you only in heaven. And she told me, it's okay. You cannot come back to see me. I will come and visit you.
咁我推反應咁快脆係，咁我係幾好喎。咁我同佢講媽媽我會去嗰度做咧，會做好耐啊。我冇機會翻嚟見你㗎，我冇相干冇所謂。如果你唔翻嚟，我去揾你。
And at that time, I also tested how much she loved the Lord. I told her I was preparing to go to the States for 7 years for my further theological training.
其實我都成日媽頭經過神奇咗話，其實我準備我要去神學院嗰度被造就。
I told her I needed a lot of money, and it was true, okay? And she gave me every dime that she had, even her 棺材本啊。
So I told him I need a lot of money.
She's still alive. She's still here.
你講我需要好多錢去呢個去神學讀書啊。咁我冇相干，我送乜都俾晒你，包括埋coffee money 我 give to
I asked her, are you sure or not? If you have no money, who is going to bury you? She said, no, the Lord has taken care of me thus far. He will take care of my funeral too. You go and serve the Lord.
你講你唔使擔心啊，我點樣嘅我將來咧神會照顧，我嘅身後事咧神都會準備嘅。
And I told her, what if I don't see you alive here on earth? What will happen? She said, no problem. We don't meet here. It's okay. We are going to meet there anyway. 如果我喺實地上，我不能夠見到你點樣咧，冇所謂。呢度見到你，我天堂再見啦。老媽子，我想同你講就係，你唔好諗住你冇讀過書，你冇用。我今日可以侍奉神，係你最大嘅功勞。Mother, I want to tell you this. The biggest strength goes to you. 我好感謝神俾我一個咁好嘅媽媽。老媽子，唔該晒。I thank God for God giving me mother. I also want to thank the church because you have supported my studies to Singapore Bible College. 我多謝教會，因為你哋支持我去到新加坡聖經學院嗰度去服從訓練。You have also enabled me to serve you. You have also let me serve you 6 years before I move on. 特別基本你能夠喺教會，其實我都要侍奉咗6年前，我去其他教會。This is something I wanted to say to the whole church, and I never get to. This is the opportunity to do so. 咁我曾經我想要講冇機會，今日我要講呢個。When I was supposed to leave the church to America for studies, you decided to support me, and the amount will always be a reflection of your love and your encouragement to me. 當我決定會去美國嘅深走嗰陣時咧，所你鼓勵嘅去支持去贊助我咧，其實係好鼓勵我。Somebody said when they received news of my ordination, they said it is really meaningful that your mother church ordained you, and your mother's church also is behind this. 當我聽到消息話我其實我感謝主，因為教會支持你，教會都愛你。So thank you, church. 多謝教會。I want to also take this opportunity to thank Pastor John. 我多機會多謝安前師。He was the one who invited me to join the church internship program. He was also the one to allow me to serve. He was also the one who brought me back here today, and he is also the one who is responsible for today's ordination. Thank you, Pastor. 因為係負責俾我喺呢實習。到之贊助嘅牧師但係咁嘅機會去教會侍奉，今日佢都係負責今日我呢個愛男。Thank you everyone for being here today. This is a very joyous and happy moment for Wai-Ming and for myself. 我多謝今日係的確係一個好開心嘅日子，唔單止係我陳龍小妹都係嘅。I also want to thank the Ordination Council. Without them passing me, there will be no today. 我都感謝呢個團，如果冇佢哋贊成我，今日都唔去到啦。Please pray for me as I strive to guard my heart and the ministry and be faithful all the way to the end. 請你大家都為我禱告，我話審核我心，我要終生嘅侍奉神。Thank you and God bless you. To God be the glory.